Good evening. Hope you had a great day. Really funny story. I have to tell you the story about my flowers. So I went for a coffee during the week and I was talking to this lovely man and we were having great chats. He asked me if I was on holidays, which I would get quite often. And I was, no, I live here. And we had a great chat and his wife joined us as well. We're just talking until she said, oh, you are the girl that used to do upholstery. And I was, yeah, I used to have a shop in town. Like, oh my God, your shop was very small, which is true, it was tiny for the kind of work that I was doing, I guess. But she was saying how cute the shop was and how nice it was. He said, how much do I miss my shop? And I don't regret closing. That would be for another time. And then she was, do you want to come for dinner? And I was like, well, I would love to. She was like, brilliant, give me your number. We exchanged numbers and off I went during the week to have dinner with them. It was just so warm, welcoming, so enthusiastic. We had just a lovely time and she has the most beautiful, cute little cottage and beautiful furniture and she has a beautiful garden with a beautiful view. And that's where I got my wildflowers and it was just a great little meeting. Very impromptu, very out of the blue. But I love when things like that happen. That would happen often enough. I think it happens usually when I start to be open again. When you are open, usually it's when you can receive something. Yeah, I'll stop here. But it was a very interesting meeting. So I want to reflect on. I'll pour myself some tea. I have this cute little cup and teapot. To reflect on the last video was about protecting your flame. Protect your flame. Hope you did this week. I hope you do next week. I hope you do it next month. I hope you do it for the whole year. From now on, no more excuses. Protect your flame. I wanted to reflect on it, and I think sometimes we can get a bit lost for myself. I think I'll speak for myself. So I think I would have pleased people instead of protecting my own space or my own self. I think I would have been saying, oh yes, even if I was exhausted, even if I didn't have time, even if I didn't want to, I'd be like, yeah, no problem, no problem, I'll do this, I'll do that, there, yeah, and everyone else, come along. Until I was like, it was just very chaotic, to be honest. I think I've reached a point where I'm like, no, not possible. I think I've learned a new word. No, no, because I have a big job to do and I have to protect my flame. I was gonna say sorry, but like, I'm not really sorry. For certain people and for me, I had to remind myself to listen to myself. And when I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. And I'm not saying like, oh, if I don't want to go to work, I'm not going to go to work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when you feel deep down, then you don't want to do something, but maybe you are afraid that someone might say that you might not be good or that it's sometimes you would give your flame just to keep the peace. It's not worth it, because if you have no flame, you can do nothing. I've accepted things that I shouldn't have, through my life experience. You can be good, you can be nice, but you saying yes to everything, it was never the only way to be nice. You can say no, have your boundary and your limit, and still be nice. That's possible. I didn't know that. Yeah, I think that's I wanted to reflect on that for myself. Please share how you protect your flame and how you haven't been protecting your flame. Is it something that you remind yourself where you have to stop before there is no flame? And I think also for me, makes me think that when I'm in this really like creative energy and want to make a lot of things, I would always reach a point of I have to create, oh my god, this is amazing, I love the feeling, until I have no capacity anymore to create because I've used all the flame to create. That could be another case as well, where you have to remind yourself, you're here tomorrow, you have even more energy tomorrow, so just remind yourself to stop and practice it. I think you can feel it when you're in this creative buzz and you've been creating for hours and maybe a few days, and you're like, okay, I'm starting to run on low. I probably should step back and rest. Because rest is good. Like, you don't have to work 7 days a week. You can just take the day off and chill. I think this should be probably a bit more rewarded than be productive all the time. So honey, if you don't want to do it, you are allowed to say no and just rest. We don't like to see you miserable. And I say that to me so that I can say that to you. Want to see you in good form, good energy, vibrant, bumping around the place. So just, I'll stop talking about protecting your flame. I've done enough reflection on that. I've done a good description. To feel free to participate, because this is my space, but it's also yours. Otherwise, I wouldn't really put it out there. So I really want to know your input. So don't be shy. I was saying in the previous video, they're all pretty good, and I don't know which one to pick. Like, I'm showing to you. I got it in town, but I'm sure you can get it in whatever bookshop. But you should get it because they're all really good. They're really helpful. I love to learn. I love to learn new things. I just never really get enough learning in general. And I think through my apprenticeship, like, I loved my apprenticeship and I loved being an apprentice. And it's just so funny that the Stoic talk a lot about being an apprentice and to learn. I think it's so important. Please join. We can all study together, really. Talking about this, I think this one is pretty accurate. Our duty to learn. Okay, so this is what you should teach me. How to be like Odysseus. How to love my country, wife, and father. And how, even after suffering, shipwreck, I might keep sailing on course to those honorable ends. Many school teachers teach the Odyssey all wrong. They teach the dates, they debate whether Homer was really the author or not, whether he was blind. They explain the oral tradition. They tell students what a cyclops is or how the Trojan horse worked. Seneca's advice to someone studying the classics is to forget all of that. The dates, the name, the places, they hardly matter. What matters is the moral. if you got everything else wrong from the Odyssey, but you left understanding the importance of perseverance, the dangers of hubris, the risk of temptation and distraction, then you really learn something. We're not trained to ace tests or impress teachers. We are reading and studying to live, to be good human beings, always and forever. I really like this one. Like most of them. I'm just thinking about just learning in general, and I think learning is, I think if you are open enough to be like, I do not know, I think you're pretty good. I think if you stay curious, ask others question, or I try to be open. And I'm not saying like always have an exchange with someone, but just kind of look, maybe you can learn something. Maybe we can learn something. I think by looking we can see different perspective of things. And I think as well, you know, there is a lot of people when I was doing the courses, and I love when I used to get people joining the course when I was teaching the upholstery. Oh my god, I'm not creative, I'm not good with my hands, I'm working a lot on the computer, and I'm like, well, even better, because I believe that we are all creatives, and that we, as long as we have hands, we can create, we can make something with our hands. But I think practice and patience, it's something that is starting to get lost. I don't know, I just kind of think of when we were in school and when we were learning. I just think learning is a great buzz. And we need that. I need that. I need to learn. I need to do new things pretty often. I don't think there is any problem with that. Teaches us as well maybe how to be okay with failing. I'm not saying it's easy. I think it's important to fail sometimes. But I lost. So be it. On that note, I'm gonna leave you. Hope you have a great end of the week. And I think we're gonna get a few more days of sunshine. I think it's been the longest summer ever in here. So hope you enjoy that and take care of yourself. And I can't wait to hear everything that you learn. Okay. Have a good evening.